Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing details. Today, we're discussing a watch launched as you see it here in 2020. This is the Vacheron Constantin Overseas Perpetual Calendar Ultra Thin, and it is all of those things. 41.5 millimeters in diameter in 5N red gold. The watch is 8.3 millimeters thick and from lug tip to lug tip 48.9 millimeters across the wrist. And unlike other members of the third generation Overseas collection, the ultra thins feature no impediment to the motion of the bracelet, so you can pull the bracelet straight down out of the lugs. On other Overseas, the current generation, it always flares out and fights. You can't pull it all the way down so that it's at a right angle to the case lines. This allows the watch, as you see it here, to wear well on smaller wrists. So my wrist, you may know by now, is 16 centimeters in circumference, and the watch wears well. It is broader than the standard automatic, which is a 41 millimeter watch, but it's also so much thinner that it feels like a smaller timepiece. I could recommend it because of the way the bracelet bends for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference, and I can recommend that in good conscience. It is a dress watch in red gold from Vacheron. Yes, it's a sporty dress watch, but it is a dress appropriate watch, and it slides effortlessly underneath the cuff. Taking a quick look at the bracelet, aside from its exceptional degree of flexibility, you can see no compromises have been made. We still have the quick release system that comes with these third generation Overseas. You get an accessory strap and a second deploying clasp when you buy this watch. You get a strap in blue leather and a strap in blue rubber, and they come with a folding clasp that attaches and allows you to swap bands between bracelet and both straps. As you can see too, the bracelet is deluxe with every single link removable, and that on both sides. So every single link in this bracelet is removable. You can see that there is a little half link in there too, and one of the great hidden features of these watches, the sliding incremental adjustment. So it snaps closed, it snaps open. There's a little sleeved micro adjustment on each side of the clasp, so you actually get two of those for fine-tuning the fit. You can see internally the clasp is still shod in a shipping plastic, so it's in outstanding condition. The prior owner didn't have much fun with this watch. Well, his loss is your gain. We have the Maltese cross motif when the clasp is closed, but you can also see that the motif has been worked into, or I should say wrought into the links. As you can see, the inner faces of these links are polished, which is difficult to do and speaks to the level of hand finishing lavished on even the small pieces. We have a rolled bevel along the flanks of the links, and their outer faces are polished, contrast with their satinated tops. Let's remove the entirety of the bracelet. It'll be easier for me to showcase the case back in just a moment. The watch is very slim, and it lives up to its name. Just as the bracelet is hand finished, so too is the case. And so too, for that matter, is the bezel. The bezel is two pieces. There's this sort of Maltese cross motif that runs around the top of a circular plinth underneath, giving it a layered look. You can see that the outer faces of the bezel are polished, and then the inner faces, the recesses, are vertically satinated. We have satination on the case and lug hoods, polish on the flank, and there's a little expanding polished bevel on the flanks of the lug hoods. Maltese cross on the crown, pusher adjusters for the calendar. The crown, though it is a push down rather than a screw down, still gives the watch 50 meters of water resistance, which means it's equal to the Royal Oaks in that regard. We have a dial with rose gold hands, rose gold indices, and plenty of luminescence. As you can see, there's no shortage of it, and the watch is easy to read, at least from a time standpoint in the dark. And then there's a flange outboard that acts as a minutes track. You can see everything is blue lacquered, but the dial base is polished metal, giving it both the glossy qualities of lacquer and the gleaming hard shine of metal. Sub-registers, as you can see, are sunken and matte finished. They're quite attractive, and if you get close enough, you can see they actually have concentric patterns internally. And then we have a moon phase. The watch is a perpetual calendar, which means no adjustments are necessary to the calendar until the year 2100. Turn it all over. We have a display case back here. What makes this watch fascinating from My perspective isn't the movement, which is outstanding, but that the watch retains the underlying anti-magnetic qualities of the more rugged and sports-oriented third-generation overseas. So there is a soft iron ring around the movement, a paramagnetic ring, that grabs magnetic field lines and channels them around the hairspring and the escapement, the better to protect the watch in the presence of magnets. As a result, 25,000 ampere per meter resistance. Remember, a standard anti-magnetic watch is 4,800. This is 25,000. The movement uses a quadruply finished 22-karat compass rose rotor, and you can see those 4 different finishes, as well as the fact that it is 22-karat, not 21, not 18, God help us, not tungsten. This movement is based on the JLC 920 Bausch that debuted for Patek Vacheron and Audemars back in 1967. It's only ever been used by those companies, never by JLC or JLC's other customers. It is Geneva hallmark finishing, but you can also see that on the case, as since mid-2012, this has been a full watch standard of finish. The JLC movement is ultra thin, 2.4 millimeters by itself. Even with the Perpetual calendar module here, the whole assembly is only 4.05 millimeters thick. There is a beryllium ring that runs all the way around. The mass is on one side, but the ring runs all the way around, and there are 4 ruby rollers that hold the ring suspended. So with 4 hard points bracing it against movement, it can be sunken very close to the base plate, and the mass can be sunken very close to the bridges without danger of contact under shock. It's a unidirectional automatic winder with a 40-hour power reserve, 36 pivot joules, and a vintagey 19,800 vibration per hour beat rate, plus a subsequent upgrade following JLC's development. This is something that Vacheron and AP have added in the modern era. We have a free-sprung Gyromax style balance for greater stability, and this is all adjusted in 5 positions and beautifully hand-finished. Today, AP and Vacheron make this movement in-house, so while it was originally a JLC, given the standard of finishing, elaboration of the regulator, and the fact that they make it themselves, this can be considered an in-house caliber for Vacheron and AP. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.